Okay, let's dig into this. You know that moment. You explain something, you feel like you've totally nailed it, really clear. You get the head nods, the, yep, got it, maybe even a little smile. Looks like understanding.
It looks like it.
And then, well, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the exact opposite of what you were hoping for. That gap, right?
Yeah.
Between they nodded but they didn't actually learn. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely.
I think whether you've been the one explaining or the one being explained to, we've probably all experienced that.
Yeah.
So today we're diving into exactly that disconnect. Why do those nods sometimes, lead nowhere? We're looking at a really interesting piece called They Nodded, but They Didn't Learn.
It really is a frustration pretty much everyone recognizes, isn't it? That manager's thought in the article. It captures it perfectly. Look, I told them, they nodded. What else do you want from me?
Right. It feels like such a reasonable reaction initially.
Totally. But like the article points out, that nod, it's just the very start. It doesn't automatically mean the information's been, processed and is ready to be used.
Exactly. There's more going on there. Someone might just be nodding to be polite. That's agreement, maybe.
Sure, politeness.
Then there's actually getting the concept, understanding it.
Right.
But neither of those really guarantees the final crucial step. Actually using it, changing behavior. They're separate things.
Very distinct stages. And it's so easy to mistake that polite nod for, proof that learning happened.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is where the article throws in a really interesting curveball. Instead of focusing on the person who, seemed not to learn, it flips it. It suggests looking at how the message itself was actually delivered. The author used ChatGPT, interestingly enough.
Really? ChatGPT?
Yeah, like a tool for self-reflection, to analyze their own communication, not to diagnose the listener.
That's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Your first thought is usually, what didn't they understand? But they used AI to pick apart their own explanation. How did that work?
Well, they'd feed their explanation into ChatGPT and ask it things like, where could this be unclear? Or is there maybe a better way to say this?
Okay.
Or even, how might someone actually hear this if they were, say, tired or stressed out?
So trying to anticipate the listener's state.
Precisely. And what's really insightful is the kind of instant feedback loop this creates for the explainer.
Right.
By trying to see their own words through potentially different filters, like someone tired, or maybe someone who doesn't have all the background info.
They started spotting issues.
Exactly. They realized things like sometimes their instructions were just way too long, rambling, maybe.
Or making assumptions.
Yeah, assuming knowledge the listener didn't actually have.
Yeah.
Or just maybe the delivery wasn't very engaging.
It's like we get stuck in our own perspective, don't we? If it makes sense to us, we assume it's clear to everyone.
Pretty much. But asking those specific questions using that tool helped uncover where the message itself might have been weak. Too much info at once, maybe? Unstated assumptions? Things like that.
So that's a big shift then. If the learning didn't stick, the article's saying, hang on, don't just assume it's the listener's fault, their memory or their attitude.
Right. The problem might actually be baked into the structure, the delivery of the information itself.
The responsibility isn't just on the receiver.
Not solely, no. It's a shared thing.
Okay, so the big takeaway here isn't about blame. It's more about asking better questions of ourselves.
Yes, about our own communication.
Instead of just wondering why they didn't get it, maybe pause and think, how did I explain it? The article really drives home that the clarity, the structure, how engaging we are, that's fundamental to whether the message actually lands. Like breaking down long instructions into smaller chunks.
Exactly. That was one specific thing the author found really helped. It's a good reminder, isn't it? Effective communication is more than just getting the words out clearly.
It's about designing the message.
Yeah, sort of designing it consciously so that real understanding and the action you want is more likely to happen. That nod might just be surface level.
True learning needs a bit more thought from the sender's side, too.
Definitely.
So here's something to think about. The next time you get that nod, but you don't see the change you expected, just pause for a second. Instead of zeroing in on them, ask yourself, what's one thing about my explanation? Maybe it's length, maybe an assumption I made, maybe just how I presented it. What's one thing I could re-examine?
Good question.
Because maybe, just maybe, the key to them really learning lies in how you structured and delivered that message in the first place.